Hi, I'm Rick Anthony, and welcome to the Someone You Should Know podcast, the podcast that focuses on musicians, authors, and interesting people. We like to say we're making a difference one artist at a time. So sit back, have a cold one, and get ready to meet someone you should know. Welcome to the Someone You Should Know podcast. Today I'm joined with members of the band Chiseled. Now, they emerged from the isolation and the pandemic, and since then carved a unique sound blending indie folk and country and indie rock down in the San Jose area. Now they're playing all over the Bay Area. Today we're going to dive into their music, their creative journey, and what's next for them. Will you please welcome several members of the band? We got Tom Gewecke, Stef Frazier, and Koda Frazier. Gang, welcome aboard.
Well, thank you.
And I understand Brian has a birthday today, so we're not going to include him. But Brian, happy birthday to you. Everybody, happy birthday, Brian.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Now, before we dive in too deep, let's take a moment. I want everyone to introduce yourself, your role within the band, and your musical background. Tom, why don't you start us off?
Okay. I sing and I play guitar and bass in the group. And let me see. My role in the group. Steph and I started Chiseled. We met at an open mic and decided we would put our heads together, try and write some songs. So that's how it started in a nutshell.
Very good. Musical influences. Who'd you really groove to when you were growing up, or what got you actually going into music?
Getting outside. Well, initially I was playing piano at a young age. But what got me really into performing is probably jazz. I played the saxophone, starting in fourth grade.
Mm-hmm.
Even put me on a Barry sax when I was in fourth grade, which is a little bit funny to see.
About the same size as you, right?
about the same size. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I had to lean back in the chair and hold it like this. But into jazz, and then from there, music, George Clinton, James Brown,
awesome.
Sly and the Stone, things like this. That's when I got my first taste of, being in a band, music.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Steph. How about you? Tell us a little bit about what your role is in the band and your musical influences.
All right. Well, as Tom said, he and I played open mics for years, and then right at the beginning of the pandemic, and we were bored, we started doing cover songs together online, and then started writing songs too. And then that became the first album. And then we just kept going from there, and it just never stopped. As far as me, I on my mother's side of the family, pretty much everyone is musical in some way. And I think we all probably get it from grandfather. I'm half German, and he was German. Situations, especially when he was drinking, and I think that was an influence on the whole family. On my dad's side of the family, he himself wasn't particularly musically gifted, but he certainly listened to a lot, and so I grew up listening to Hank Williams and Willie Nelson and a lot of country music. He was from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's those songs that I first started playing on guitar too, after I had my initial guitar lessons at the age of 7 or 8 and things like that. And
very cool.
And then from there, folk music, and then later into, ABBA was actually the first concert I ever went to.
I grew up loving ABBA back in the 70s, man. Especially the ladies there with their good looks and everything. And this young boy was just very, very happy with it when ABBA came out in the 70s.
Well, indeed. And so Tom and I bonded first over country music, and specifically Townes Van Zandt from Texas.
Okay.
But also ABBA. And so we in fact, and our Chiseled has covered a couple of ABBA songs. So anyway, those are just a few of the many influences.
Fabulous. Oh, Kai, you're up now. What do you think?
I'm up.
Cool.
My role in the band started after the pandemic, so it's kind of a couple of years later. After everything was starting to open back up, the two of them, Tom and Steph, were, trying to get back into doing gigs. and then they just, they wanted a bass player, so I just came on board as a bass player at the start, and then I started sneaking in as much lead guitar as I could, and at this point, I think I've infiltrated, and I'm basically a full-time lead guitarist. But we all, everyone's mentioned bass, so yeah, we all kind of trade the bass around, even at gigs. Awesome. We're yet to hand Brian the bass, but I think that might come at some point.
Oh, wonderful, very good.
In terms of influences, well, I think at the core, actually, my strongest influences are his as well, as in all the music that he was playing around the house when I was a kid. I can't really name that many. I just vaguely remember the songs, maybe if you put them on. But yeah, a lot of the country stuff. But in terms of influence that I've, listened to myself, they're the people, or they're the band who got me into music in the first place. And Pink Floyd. Oh, unfortunately, I can't help but love Pink Floyd. Yeah.
Now, before Chiseled officially formed, like you said, Tom and Steph, you guys were just playing open mic nights, and then the pandemic hit, and you guys decided to do some cover tunes and start writing process. How did the isolation shape your songwriting and your creativity?
I think it was quite welcoming for me, because I think that's how I really started off writing songs. Was just having a little 4-track cassette recorder, and just really working on my own, and just being able to just get down the ideas that I was coming up with, and learning how to make them sound relatively okay, and then just sort of developing them with the help of the multi-tracking. So fast forward 20 something years, and now with the technology that we have with home recording systems, I thought it was actually it was helpful, because there wasn't much you could do. You just couldn't go out to go see shows, and open mics were all shut down.
Yeah, exactly.
So it seemed like a good opportunity to do what I sort of had always done, and now it imposed sort of it's now or never. This is your chance to really do something, see something through to its completion. So
very good. Steph, how about you? What's your thoughts on the same question?
Well, it's been 5 years. We're all commemorating 5 years since the pandemic. It's in a lot of ways, it's really difficult to remember what it was like. It was such a bizarre time in everyone's life. A very unprecedented state of being, and it wasn't as much loneliness, I think, because we did have in our case, we had a family around us. We were a nice little family that was doing all right during the pandemic, but still, with the open mics gone, and with everything else, going out wise gone, there was a lot missing suddenly to not be able to play.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys were able to come up with some really creative stuff during that process and such. Now, your first album was actually a real DIY effort. It was a Home Depot type project, recording, mixing, mastering, everything yourself. The biggest challenges were of that particular realm, as far as doing it all yourself. What's the biggest challenge?
Tom, I think you probably had the biggest challenges.
Oh yeah. Mainly just keeping the momentum going. First of all, the technical challenges, of course. The biggest challenge was trying to make it sound as though the recording was done in the same space, which of course it wasn't. The things that you hear Stefan singing, and his instrumental parts, mostly guitar parts, were done at his house, and then my parts were done at my apartment. So that was the biggest challenge, and that's a real tough thing to do. As if you'd ask any recording engineer, is to create that illusion like everybody's playing at the same time. Mm-hmm. So that was what we were aiming for. I'm not quite sure we quite hit it, but that's one of the things when you're making something. You just put the target as or the goal as high as you can, and then you know it's going to fall short, but do it anyways. So I'm glad that we did push through and just try to make the best of again, of the situation and the limited contact and the inability to really to do things together.
Absolutely. Now,
in the same room.
That's really interesting what you say there, because it's a learning process. And you get better from it, and the next album gets better, and the next album gets better. Okay, we're going to discuss more of the band's history in a bit, but first let's get to some music. Shanghai Lights, first song we have. And Kai, why don't you tell us your thoughts on Shanghai Lights?
Shanghai Lights, well, just to talk a bit about how this album happened, we pretty much had big recording chunks. Since I left for college, I wasn't around for most of the time. So we had 5 songs done before I left for college. We thought, okay, we're going to release as an EP. And then I left, and the 2 of them had time to, mull over their decisions and thought maybe we'll just do a whole album. So over Christmas break, I came back and we recorded the rest.
Awesome.
And basically that whole time I was like looking forward to recording this one song, because we'd played it live a couple times. I think it was literally a couple times, like 2 times. And it's one of my favorite songs we've played ever. And so the recording of it was just like something that I'd been anticipating for a while. And so I think the recording process went pretty smoothly for this one as well, just because we played it a couple times. We were prepared. I think we all liked it pretty well. It's also one of the more heavy things we've done. Well, heavy on our standard. Right. So yeah, super fun.
Very good, Kai. Thanks for your input there. Steph and Tom, anything you want to add to that?
I agree with what Kai said, and I really appreciate all the parts that Kai brought in after the fact, the overdubbing on that song, because those were all things that I hadn't thought of. And one of the great things about working with Kai is his ability and willingness to do that, and sort of constantly surprise us with, hey, check this out. So in addition to that, as far as the writing goes, I didn't set out to write a heavier song or a kind of a more rocking song. It just sort of ended up that way. And the song did go through a lot of iterations. It probably started with something like finger picking on an acoustic guitar. A lot of my songs start that way. But you never know. And I've learned from doing this quite a while that just because a song starts one way doesn't mean it's gonna live that way, or it's gonna stay that way. So this is an example of something that it was transformed as it was gone through iterations, and then of course brought to the band, and then having Steph and Kai and Brian's input on it. So
very good.
So that's the reason why it sounds the way it does. Not necessarily because I thought, oh, this is going to be this kind of rockin' song.
Kai, where are you going to school at? What college?
Occidental College in LA.
All right, very good.
Love
awesome.
it here.
Very good, very good. Hey, let's play that song right now. Shanghai Lights from Tom and Steph and Kai. This is Chiseled on the Someone You Should Know podcast.
Schoolyard littered with broken things, rusted gates long needing change. Teacher hides your plastic ring in the cabinet beneath the stairs. And Papa's got the Brill cream charm, cozy in his producer's chair. And dolled up women on his arm, he promises the world. Shanghai lights, Shanghai lights, and it's still dark beneath the uptown lights. And looking down on your ragged shoes, and cousins in the province can be that way. And getting the hell out, the only way to escape from dire need. And Papa's got his appetites, left you and Mama when you were a babe. Now he's stolen you away, like he's found something to save. Shanghai lights, Shanghai lights. It's still dark beneath the uptown lights. Sabers are rattling, shaking the walls. Censor the press, the church and schools. Red revolution better heed the call. Re-educated into tools. We're making a play by midnight. I listen for the knocks by the back stairs. We'll whisk you away as the radio coughs static in the night. Shanghai lights. Shanghai lights, and it's still dark beneath the uptown lights. Shanghai lights, Shanghai lights, it's still dark beneath the uptown lights.
That's Shanghai Lights from Chiseled. We're speaking to members of the band right now. And you know something? We got some more music and more stories coming up in just a couple of minutes. But first, I want to say, I want to thank you very much for tuning into the Someone You Should Know podcast. No matter what you listen, if you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever it might be, all you have to do is look for the Someone You Should Know podcast, and it's in like 17 different players now. So all you have to do. And our good friends over there at Buzzsprout are the ones that share us to all those streaming platforms. They're so nice to give us the stats that we're heard in over 2,800 cities and 106 countries around the world. I want to salute a couple of those. Caledonia, Michigan, also Forest City, North Carolina, Bloomington, Indiana, and Cabimas in Northwest Venezuela. All right. Someone You Should Know podcast heard wherever quality streaming audio is available. We're speaking to the members of Chiseled, Tom Gewecke, Stef Frazier, and Koda Frazier. And happy birthday to Brian, who has the night off tonight. Happy birthday to you. Now, the upcoming album is called Sounds Like. Can you tell us a little bit about the album and when we could expect it?
The album is called Sounds Like. It's sort of named after one of the songs, which is titled Sounds Like Something. And it should be out.
Awesome. Very good, guys. So it should be out in the stores and on all the streaming platforms as we're speaking here. So be sure to look for it, okay? Sounds Like from Chiseled. All right. Very good. And do you have a specific theme of it, or what is the whole basis of it?
I don't know if there's a specific theme, although I'll let the others comment on it in a moment. I mean, there are several firsts on it. For example, on one song features a glockenspiel. We've never had that before. One of the songs actually sounds like something is the one with that title is probably the most stripped down song that we've ever had. So that's kind of a first. There's, what are the other firsts that we have? On an upcoming song that you're about to play, Because of You, Kai actually plays acoustic lead for the first time. In the past, he's always played electric lead. And then there's a couple of, two bossa nova songs.
Oh, I love bossa nova. Very good. All right. I'm looking forward to the release of this. I'm really looking forward to checking this out. What I'll do is we'll include a link in the show notes so everyone can find it, okay? You started mentioning some of these things already. How does this compare to your previous albums and EPs? You said Kai's going to be on acoustic versus a lead and some other things. Anything else that you would like to mention?
Well, I think Chiseled, it's always been a pretty, lighthearted, personal project. Well, we take it seriously. Don't get me wrong, but it's always just been about the music that we like to play. So I think what it represents most to us, I think that it also shines through the music, is just like a reflection of the development of our music and, you know, what we're feeling like playing, you know. At some point, I think Tom came to us with a song that kind of sounded like bossa nova, so we played bossa nova, and then Steph also wrote a bossa nova song. We just got on this bossa nova kick, and basically, you know, we always just make, even if it's diverse, but it's always chiseled. So we take a lot of things and we make them as chiseled as it gets.
Awesome.
And then we play them. So
you stay true to your.
you
stay true to the band. That's very cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very good. Now, the next song is one that you just mentioned a few minutes ago. Because of You. It's a deeply personal feel in this song. Can you tell us a little bit about the backstory in the song?
Gosh, how did I write it? I mean, I think I came up with the simple chord progression at first, and then wrote the lyrics. I will say that I've made the discovery recently that almost pretty much all of my songs, my entire repertoire, is breakup songs.
Oh dear God!
And I think Because of You is sort of one of those. Also, it's because I listened to a lot of Hank Williams, like I say, when I was a kid. Kai and I actually first played this in Munich, Germany, last summer when we were there at an open mic, or sort of a featured artist sort of thing. And he, of course, perfected the chord progression and made it what it.
Good. By the way, I'd just like to add on, regardless of the breakup thing, as far as I know, he and my mom are very happily married. So it's purely derivative writing there.
Well, very good, very good. Well done, well said, Kai. Let's play that song right now. Here's Because of You from Tom, Steph, and Kai from the band Chiseled. Here it is right now on the Someone You Should Know podcast.
Over golden mountaintops, beyond grand horizons, there was a little rabbit hole that led me to you. Push the pedal to the floor, see the moon cry alone. Watch it go from near to far and bring it into view. I never cared about other people's notions. That never stopped me from my own true devotions. Sell off everything I own, see a man about to ride. Big city up ahead, where the people are the real stars. Find me at the drive-in, smoking down my cigarettes, checking out the latest trash in the backseat of the car. It ain't worth sobbing over what never was. I know you seen crying, and that's just because of you. Because of you. I gave, I never bought the tales I told. Even when tears flowed, there was never any slack. Nothing ever seemed to work, but it don't matter anyway. Next time I reappear, the screen will fade to black. It ain't worth fighting over who was the first to pause. I know you seen crying, and that's just because of you. Because of you. Because of you.
That's the Bay Area's band Chiseled. Great music right there called Because of You. And I mentioned the fact that these guys are down in San Jose. And when I lived in the Bay Area, I loved spending our weekends traveling to all the local food festivals. The Gilroy had the Garlic Festival, and Vacaville had the Onion Festival, and of course the wineries in the Napa Valley. Some of the favorite places you guys like to play. You guys play a lot of festivals. You guys play a lot of venues. What's some of your favorite haunts in San Jose or in the Bay Area?
Oh, okay. I'll just give a shout out to our local one, and then Steph, you can talk about maybe the others. So our favorite venue to play is right here in San Jose, and the front is a comic book store, and then you go through the doors, and then it's a great listening room. It's the best sound system in the South Bay. It's called the Art Boutique.
I love it.
So yeah, we've been very fortunate to be able to play about twice a year there, and we've done our album releases there. And we're really happy that there's a venue still going in San Jose that's really, really supportive of, especially local original acts. So yeah, that's my personal favorite.
Okay, very good. Steph, how about you?
Well, the where we used to do the open mic was a local New Orleans themed place called Poorhouse Bistro, and there's still a lot of music there. Nowadays, I think, bands like ours play a lot of breweries and brew pubs.
Yeah.
And so, in Santa Cruz, we've played a place called Discretion a bunch of times. Santa Cruz Mountain Brewery also. Here locally, there's Narrative Fermentations. And, they're the ones that seem to employ bands like ours more than anyone else nowadays. And all of them have good food trucks usually.
We're good. Kai, how about you? What's your thoughts?
That's not too much I can add. Obviously, shout out again, Art Boutique, greatest people, greatest soundstage in the Bay. But yeah, some of the more memorable venues we've played are the ones we, set out on the road for, which mainly is Santa Cruz. It's fun driving over that hill. But also, I want to shout out the Bistro in Hayward. It's always a nice, it's just pretty much just a bar up there in Hayward that we drive to. And it's a nice, it's a nice venue, a nice space. It's a great vibe up there. So
awesome. Very good. All right, let's talk socials. If anyone is in the Bay Area or somewhere in that general area or be visiting the Bay Area and wants to follow your music and find out where you're playing at, social media would be probably your best avenue to do so. What would you say, guys, some of your socials?
ChiseledMusic.com, Chiseled Music, all one word. And then the Facebook and the Instagram are both Chiseled Music, all one
Very good.
word. So those are the places to follow
All right,
us.
very good. I will include those down in the show notes, so anyone following along would like to do that, and especially if you're listening in your car right now and would like to find out more information and you don't want to get in an accident, so just go down to the show notes after you get a chance to listen to this, and you get to some place to pull over, or you get to work or home. We've done that. The next feature is one of my all-time favorites. It's called Tales from the Road. Those are those infamous road stories where things didn't go quite as planned. Gentlemen, I'm going to give you the opportunity to tell me what would be your tales from the road. Tom, Steph, Kai, whoever wants to take it, or if you've all got one different one, I'd love to hear those too.
Tom, you want to tell the story of my uncle?
Oh, yeah. I had another one too in mind, but I can tell that one, sure. Okay, since that was the assist. So that's Steph's uncle. So Steph's uncle has been a supporter of Chisel. I want to say that up front, and he's come to several of our shows, not just in Santa Cruz, but also in San Jose. So Uncle James. So I wrote a song because my uncle, who lives in Germany, once he referred to he and his wife, my aunt, as happy hippies. So I suppose in Germany the word hippie, or at least in my uncle's generation, doesn't quite have a negative connotation. So he says it quite freely and quite cheerfully. So I wrote a song called Happy Hippies, brought it to the group, and thought, hey, we're going to be playing in Santa Cruz, so, we might as well have a song called Happy Hippies. So we get to the venue in Santa Cruz. We play the show. Uncle James is there. And right in the middle of a song, as I was maybe just finishing the bridge, I feel something kind of in the head. And then I sort of look around. I thought, it was just get, pooped on by a bird. And then all of a sudden another one and another one. And before I knew it, I was being attacked. And so I was wondering what was going on, because this is definitely a first, especially right in the middle of a song. I'd never gotten the Blues Brothers treatment.
Oh yeah.
But that was pretty much my Blues Brothers treatment. Luckily for me, Uncle James was just eating, I think it was maybe just French fries or something like that. So it wasn't anything that would actually do any damage. But
those birds are tough critics. What can you say?
Yeah, you play by the ocean. Those seagulls they're tough cookies.
The point was that he spent a lot of my lifetime correcting us that it's not hippies, it's freaks.
Freaks.
And word hippie during his youth was something frowned upon, and you were supposed to be called a freak. So he objected to the term.
Wow. All right. Very good. Any other stories, gang?
I think someone else should tell it, but we had that sound guy in Henflings. He was pretty weird.
Okay, so this is a recent one. Okay, so we were playing a venue. I won't name the venue in Pacifica, and so we loaded in all our equipment. Of course, Brian was with us, and Kai's mom, Steph's wife, was there as well. So the bartender, after we set up, he said, "Okay, look, guys, you can play the show, but everyone who's underage in the band," he didn't look at anyone, but he said, "Anyone who's underage in the band, you have to go outside when you take a break. Okay, you can't hang out inside." So we all nodded. Okay, all right, got it. Okay, so we play our first set. Okay, and then it's break time. So I was standing during the break. I was standing talking with Karu, who's Steph's wife, Kai's mom, and then Kai comes over and says, "Hey, how's it going?" And say, "Hey, what's up, Kai?" So we're talking for a bit. Bartender comes over, kind of looks at Kai and says, "We have to ask you to step outside." So Kai goes, "Okay." He goes outside. And then I look over at Karu, and she just starts busting up. And I don't think I've seen her laugh like that. And it was the last thing I expected, to see her cracking up like that after her son has gotten kicked out of the bar. So I thought that was pretty cool, totally unexpected, and definitely something I always remember about Karu is when she got such a kick out of
that. Very good, guys. Thanks so much for your tales from the road. I always love those stories, and maybe I'll put these all in a book sometime. Final track we're going to feature, guys, is called "Back of Your Mind." What's the idea of this track here? Is the backstory on it, and can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I feel like, okay, I'll just try and make it short. So the general idea for the song was just I play in a group that does Motown and Stax covers. Mm-hmm. I actually play horn in that group. So learning a bunch of songs, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, these kind of things, was the inspiration for this song. So just have something that was a little bit more groovy, a little bit more like an R&B tune or a soul tune. And the riff I learned from it was an online class. I don't know if it was during the pandemic, but it was Berkeley Music offers music classes online, and I think Kai may have availed himself of one or two of those classes. So it was a riff I learned in one of those classes, and I really liked the riff. So I thought maybe someday I'll write a song with it. And maybe Kai, you can talk about what you added to the song, because I really like what you added too.
I just want to take a moment to kind of share my philosophy on stealing stuff as an artist. Maybe I'm wording it a little strongly, but I think that any artist, regardless of their intentions, is going to be derivative of a lot of their influences. And I think that I wouldn't go as far as to say that everyone is a reflection of a pure reflection of their influences, but I think it's unavoidable to have some of those influences shine through. Having said that, I'd like to justify having stolen the part in this song from Beck. Specifically the song Blue Moon. There's a little guitar part towards the end of the song that I was really inspired by. So I wanted to do something similar, not fully stolen, similar. It's derivative on this song. And or on any song. And I thought this song, tempo and feel kind of made sense for it. So just came up with this little part, and it comes up a couple times in the song.
Very good.
Tell us where it comes up exactly, so people can hear.
Where exactly? Well, Blue Moon by Beck.
No, I mean in our song.
Oh, I see. In our song. Well, unless you lose interest in like the first 10 seconds.
Oh, come on now.
It comes up in the intro and then at the end of each chorus, I think.
Oh, all right. So, Beck, if you happen to be listening, this was just done maybe as a tribute to you, just a nod to you, sir. But the song is called "Back of Your Mind," and once again, the album is called "Sounds Like," and it's out now, right, guys? Yeah.
Yes, it's out.
All right, very good. We're here with members of Chiseled. It's Tom Gewecke, Stef Frazier, Koda Frazier, and Brian is on his birthday today, so he has the day off here. So once again, guys, I really and truly thank you for taking time out of your busy day to tell us a little bit about the band and what we can expect in the future and what we've got going on right now. It's been a real treat to have you on, guys, and I hope you guys sell 1 million records.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been fun.
And I got to the mountain. There I started to climb. And I got close to the summit. But I was running out of time. And the sun struck me blind. And nothing left for me to find. I only hope I'm still someplace in the back of your mind. And I searched for answers to how things slowly unwind. And I stared at the ocean without a hook or a line. And the sun struck me blind. And nothing left for me to find. I only hope I'm still someplace in the back of your mind. I jumped round on the moon, and I lost all sense of time. And hope deferred is still hoping, and it's the reason I'm trying. And the sun struck me blind, and nothing left for me to find. I only hope I'm still someplace in the back of your mind. The back of your mind.
Hi, this is Rick Anthony, thanking you again for listening to this episode of Someone You Should Know. Now, if you're an aspiring musician or an established musician that's looking for a little exposure, I invite you to drop us a line at someoneyoushouldknowpodcast@gmail.com. That's someoneyoushouldknowpodcast@gmail.com. Also, I invite you to tell a friend about the Someone You Should Know podcast. I thank you for tuning in this time, and I invite you to check us out next time on the Someone You Should Know podcast, because you never know who's going to show up. Until next time, remember, God loves you, and so do I.